Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? Just a quick stretch before we get started, because I got a short one here for you today. I got some bad news. Are you a 1031 exchange person out there? In other words, if you're not familiar with this, basically what it means is if you owned a duplex, let's say, and you wanted to play the monopoly game in real life with real estate, right? You start with some property, you work your way up. Next thing you know, you got a whole apartment complex. You retire, you have all this income, you pass it on to your heirs, and then your family is wealthy. I might have some bad news for you. This Biden, we started with taxing the rich. Turns out we were taxing people that were doing well, but not rich. And now we're working our way back to the 1031 exchange. He is talking about and has proposed in his plan there. Didn't get a lot of attention on the old media there, but if you read through his plan, 1031 exchange going to be taxable. What they want to do, they want to get rid of the ability for you to roll forward those gains. So if you, let's say you had a duplex and you sold it and you made $1 million or something, whatever, and you wanted to buy a triplex or 16-unit apartment building or whatever happens, you can actually roll that forward. You don't pay taxes on the $1 million. You get to buy the bigger property, now more income, your family becomes more wealthy. Awesome. Well, what they want to do is say, not only up to $500,000. So you can move capital gains forward up to $500,000, but then the rest of it's going to be taxable. And the idea is that this is going to tax the rich from buying and selling all this big stuff that they sell out there. This is frustrating, right? Because to me, I'll go over some more, but what it's telling you is that the government's saying, we want you to do okay, but we just don't want you to be rich. And if you are rich, we're going to tax you. I hate that mindset there. That bugs me. But anyways, what typically happens, I have tons of clients that do this. They just have bought property, started with a single family home, bought a duplex, 1031 exchange, roll over the gains. Maybe they got 2 duplexes or whatever, sold one along the way and rolled that gain forward. The idea is that if you have this group of properties when you pass away, maybe they go to your heirs. Well, as of now, and sadly this is going away too, they get to step up in cost basis. So all those capital gains just go away and they would have to pay no tax and they get to keep the ball rolling and everything. Not anymore. The Joint Committee on Taxation, which is controlled by Democrats at the moment, says that they can make $41.1 billion from rich people over the next 4 years to pay for this free preschool and free college game plan that made the headlines that they were talking about there. And they actually said that smaller scale investors won't get hit because we're going to allow up to $500,000 not to be taxed, or you can roll that forward to 1031 exchange, but anything more than that would be taxable. So I hate that. I've been saying this, I'm all about, if you want to say rich people need to pay their fair share, but you notice how now they're getting closer and closer to things that you do that affect you. That bugs me a little bit there. Also, by the way, this would apply to businesses. So what happens? You have look at Jazz here. We got this studio here. We're thinking about getting a bigger building. Well, that bigger building might mean you make a profit on one. If it's over $500,000, why? Why would we move? Why would we expand? I mean, we just have to pay more tax. And what kind of tax rate do you think you're going to pay on money over $500,000? I'll let you think about that one just a little bit. So you have this, think of manufacturing companies that need to expand and sell their building and buy something bigger. It's going to apply to them too. So what do you think is going to happen if this passes and this is something that actually happens? It's hard to say, but what you would see is less transactions, right? So there'd be less property on the market. There'd be less changing of hands. And I think that people would just say, hey, I have a duplex, or a triplex or 16plex or 20plex or whatever it is, and I'm making some money on it. I wanted to buy something bigger because the property is appreciated, but you know what? I'll just keep it and I'll just raise the rents. Oh, I hate to see that too. So there's a lot of things coming down. We're going to be talking a lot about the tax changes here because Biden has made it clear that, look, we're spending a lot of money and he wants to tax the living daylights out of the rich people, but sadly, that is coming down to the rest of us as well, and it's going to continue there. So I'll let you know how things go if it does get in the bill, or I'm sure we'll hear about this, but I'll bet that's something you didn't know that was going to happen. I have many clients that have lots of properties. We're going to have to get back to work on this one. I don't like the sound of it there. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Just something to think about if you are or someone who is considering playing a monopoly game with your property. You have this big vision of being a real estate investor. Well, now there's a big tax consideration to think about there. I hope you get some help, and we'll see what happens. Enjoy the rest of your day.